There are cars, and then there's this, the BMW M5 V10 Touring, a car that doesn't just transport you from A to B, it hurls you there in a symphony of noise, fury and passion.
This is the sort of machine that makes you look back and think, wow, a naturally aspirated V10 in an estate car. We will never see a car like this again. It's madness, but a glorious, wonderful madness. Never, ever, ever will we see a car of this kind again. Yes, we've seen another M5 Touring since this, but that's got electricity, not with an F1 inspired engine that sounds something like this. Although I love BMWs, even if I didn't, I would still buy this car, purely because of that engine, just to experience the noise. Talking of the engine, let's stop over somewhere to take a look at it. Here it is, the S85 B50 engine, and this is what makes this car so special. It's a 5-litre naturally aspirated V10 F1 inspired engine, and you can also find this exact engine in the E63 M6, and this engine was produced from 2004 to 2010. Standard figures, 507 horsepower and 520 newton meters of torque, with a limited top speed of 155 miles per hour. Take that limiter away, this is easily a 200 mile per hour car. And although it's cool to own such a car with such an engine, you have to be mindful of its potential issues, such as rod bearings, throttle actuators, the Vanos system, how long have we got, the injectors, gearbox. Yeah, I can go on forever, but I suppose at the end of the day, you're owning a BMW with a V10 engine in, and that's the main thing. The best thing about the M5 Touring, if you still wanted the V10, you still had brilliant practicality. There are two ways of opening the boot, the glass bit there, and the whole boot itself, which opens electronically. Now, boot space is 500 litres, seats down 1,650 litres, perfect for sleeping in. Remember, you can't drive a house, so buy an M5 Touring. Now, this has its glorious sound of V10, famed for one of the best sounding BMWs ever, so let's hear it. Yeah, keep coming, I can stay here all day. That's amazing. So the M5 Touring, model number E61, BMW only made around 222 units in right-hand drive, and you can pick these up for around £30,000 now, which makes you look and think, where can I store this car? Because it's only a matter of time until these appreciate hard. So the E60 M5 replaced the E39, and during its 5-year production cycle, BMW produced around 20,000 units, and of that 20,000, only 1,000 were Tourings, which showed one thing: not many people wanted them. But now they're the most desirable model because, of course, rarity. And the E60 M5 was the first ever BMW to feature a V10 engine, and people raved about it, and they still do today. Even me. It won Best Performance Engine Award of the Year 3 times on the bounce. This car is from an era where power is pure, it's unfiltered. Just listen! And I remember being young and watching Clarkson's review on this car, and he basically slated it for the entire review until a click of a button. This M button right here. Pretty cool. I'm about to do the same thing, by the way. And before I click this button, the car is running a normal kind of 400 horsepower. Now when I click it, the full 507 horsepower is unleashed, no traction control. It basically wants to kill you. And another cool thing is the seat bolsters. So the right seat bolster is moved in as I'm taking a left turn. It's mad. Like the E92, the E60 M5 has aged brilliantly. Even if you see one on the road today, it still looks fresh and it still looks modern. Put it this way, it's definitely going to age better than that new stuff they create. And we have Mr. Bangle to thank for that. Well, Boyer actually, Mr. Bangle only signed the design off. So Mr. Boyer, thank you very much, sir. And the design between a regular 5 Series and M5 is much more subtle when you compare it against the 3 Series and M3. And there's a reason for that. It's to maintain enough minimalism for your everyday touring or saloon, but to distinguish an M5 against a regular 5 Series, you had these fenders in the front wings here, you also had no fog lights in the different front bumpers, and of course you had these massive quad tail pipes. So yeah, the gearbox, it's called SMG, which stands for Sequential Manual Gearbox. It's a 7-speed single clutch gearbox, and it was designed for more engagement from an automatic. And yes, they're right, it certainly is engaging. It throws you back into the seat when you want to change gear. Now this car has benefited from a gearbox flash, which you have to do on these cars. The gearboxes aren't the best. You know, under slow speeds it's not so smooth, they're very jerky. But I can understand why BMW opted for this gearbox, because under high speed driving, they're very aggressive and it'll just jump you into the next gear. Now the Americans had the best solution to the SMG. BMW offered the E60 M5 with a manual gearbox like they did with the F10 M5, but not in Europe or the UK, which I find bizarre because not many Americans like driving stick shift. So I can certainly see why people manual swap them over here. But this exact spec M5 Touring is one of 2 in the world. That's how rare this car is. So what's it like to drive? Well, I mean, that engine, it's just an absolute masterpiece. It sounds perfect. Other than that, it's just a regular 5 Series Touring. It's uneventful, but when you want your thrill, you plant your right foot down, she becomes an M5. And you have to remember, it's quite a heavy lump to chuck around. It weighs just shy of 2 tons, so it's not agile, but the M5 has always been about combining luxury with power, and this certainly does that.
The E60 M5 is a statement of what humans achieved when engineering wasn't restrained by the war on CO2 emissions. No turbo, no hybrid, just pure mechanical engineering.
You see, this car is from a time where manufacturers pushed limits. It's raw, it's loud. I mean, it revs all the way to 8,250 RPM. Never will we see this sort of car again. So this isn't just a car, it's a celebration. A celebration of freedom. It's the ultimate driving machine. I'd like to thank you for watching my review on the E61 M5, and I'd like to personally thank Mike for letting me get a review on this incredible beast, so thank you very much, mate. Thank you for watching, and leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel for more content, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, goodbye.